What's going on, everybody? It's David Schlotthauer here, and welcome back to my very first U.S. weather forecast for September the 4th, 2024 on this fantastic Wednesday. In today's update, we got some cold air that is going to be coming in out of the north, out of Canada, into the Great Lakes, and into the upper Midwest. This is going to bring a taste of fall for a lot of you that live in Indiana, Ohio, the Great Lakes region, and even for Texas. My goodness, this is going to be quite the ride for the weekend. So to start things off, I always like taking a look at the current weather pattern across the United States. And as we can see right now, there's a lot of showers and thunderstorms going on down here across the southern portion of Texas, Louisiana, into Mississippi and Alabama. We got an area of disturbed weather. Also for the northern plains, some showers and thunderstorms, maybe some severe weather cutting across here into the Dakotas and also in portions of Nebraska later on this evening. But otherwise, looking pretty quiet out there, other than we got some smoky skies across the Pacific Northwest due to a lot of wildfires that are burning. But a lot of you clicked on this video wondering about those cold temperatures that are coming. So here's a look at the Pivotal Weather website, looking at our European model at our surface air temperature over the next several days. So we're going to go out to the next 7 days, in fact. And right now, it's not feeling like fall or winter in any portion of the United States. In fact, some areas are seeing some really hot temperatures like the desert Southwest, where you're seeing temperatures above 110, Death Valley 120 degrees over the next couple of days. Where I live, right around 100 to 106 degrees today, and then tomorrow even hotter. It's not going to get any better for a lot of people living across the West and the desert Southwest. But people that live across the Great Lakes region, you're going to get a taste of fall by Friday into Saturday. Look at these temperatures. Indiana, not so bad there, coming in at about the mid-70s during the day. That's slightly below average. And look what happens by the time we go into, say, Saturday. Temperatures in the mid to low 60s during the day, with overnight temperatures dropping all the way down into the low to mid 40s. So definitely bundle up, buttercups, if you're going out there doing anything this weekend, if you're going shopping, if you're doing any park recreational activities. Keep that in mind. Going to be a bit of a chilly one to start your Sunday morning, and then warming up a little nicer during the day on Sunday, but still in the low 70s, mid 60s during the day. So definitely on the chilly side. I have, again, an early taste of fall coming. And then for the Intermountain West, for the high plains, not fall-like at all. Summer-like temperatures in the mid to upper 90s. We got triple-digit temperatures in Washington and Oregon. My goodness. This is early September and doesn't feel like early September. And then down here, 112, 113 degrees. So really hot weather back west. And that is a concern here. And this will continue all the way we go into perhaps day 6, day 7. Look at this, still 116 down there across Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, Death Valley, as well as Palm Springs, just too hot. And then not much in the way of cooler weather, while overnight temperatures should modulate a little bit with the mid to upper 50s at night. So the fall weather only going to be short-lived, unfortunately. Here's another perspective at looking at it. Here's the European ensemble forecast over the next 3 to 4 days, showing our below average temperature anomalies here. This is pretty significant here all the way across the upper Midwest. You're looking at temperatures here anywhere between 10 to even 15 degrees below average. That's for your Saturday, September the 7th, 2024. While look at this, in Canada and much of the West, going to be pretty warm. Temperatures 15 to 25 degrees above the long-term average. And this is going to continue all the way into early next week, where temperatures will be below average over these areas. This is a 5-day forecast. Texas, Oklahoma, across the deep south, finally going to get some relief with those temperatures, some drier air filtering in, which will also be nice. Not much in the way of huge humidity concerns at all. but also going to be a little bit on the nippy side for those people that live in Louisiana that are not used to it quite yet. Now, the reason why you're going to have a taste of fall this weekend across the upper Midwest is because of the overall weather pattern. This look at the European ensemble, looking at the 18,000 foot level mark into the atmosphere. So you go above the surface, you're looking at 18,000 feet. And as we go forward, here comes that trough. Look at that. Look at that little puppy right there into portions there of, say, Wisconsin, into, say, Minnesota. If you're in, say, the Great Lakes region of Michigan, there's your little baby trough coming on through a short wave that's going to really drop these temperatures only briefly. And look how energetic that is on the ensemble forecast of the Euro, showing quite a bit of energy there. So maybe a chance of rain and some strong storms perhaps with that, and that moves all out and you're back to summer-like weather. Now, when timing out when you're going to get some rain out of this and how much you could see, well, here's a look at the precipitation forecast on the European model deterministic forecast, and we could see here there is a chance of showers and some thunderstorms. Some of them could be severe. Remember that cooler air coming in. Some upper level winds support there for some storms. Some of them could be severe, and then they move all the way across into Ohio, then eventually into the Northeast. And look at this interaction here. This tropical system and this cold front moving in, going to really make way for some very intense rainfall and some gusty winds there in Pennsylvania, as well as, say, if you're in upstate New York, going to get quite a bit of activity. And then that moves out of the picture and things are looking quiet for early next week. Now, another tool that I like to use in these U.S. forecasts, especially with the upcoming big cool down that's coming, is looking at the 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlook here from the Climate Prediction Center. And of course, this is beyond that cold Arctic outbreak. This is, again, 6 days and beyond. So it's still showing that colder air down here in the deep south, the eastern seaboard, and the southern portion of Texas. But look at it, just how warm it's going to get over here in the upper Midwest and the northern plains. We're looking at 80 to 90% chance that temperatures will be very warm. In fact, maybe some rare September records up there as well in portions, say, of the Dakotas. And the pattern is only going to change even more. This is a look for the next 14 days, looking at some very warm temperatures up here in the northern plains and also the Great Lakes. So again, this fall chill, this cold blast of air, is only going to be short-lived. It's only going to last for a few days, and then it's out of here. It's going to get very hot and uncomfortable out here in the Midwest, and then more cooler weather coming back in for the West. So it seems like this pattern is changing all the time. We get cold back west, we get warm weather back east, and then it's vice versa. If it's warm back west, it's cold back east usually, and then it's also warm down here in Florida. Now, as you can see here, this is unfortunate as far as a precipitation standpoint over the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the northern plains, and even down here into the portions of the desert Southwest. Looking at a greater than normal chance that precipitation will be lower than average and also wetter than over here with some monsoonal moisture and also some cooler temperatures eventually towards the latter part of the 6-10 today forecast. And then over here for the southeast, you're looking at also above average because, again, that system that we were tracking yesterday, it might make it a strange north turn later in the period. And it might bring in more moisture here for Florida. And then looking at the next 14 days, also still dry, so not much of a wet season at all coming up for the middle of September for the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes, whereas the West and also Florida are going to see somewhat wetter than normal conditions according to the chances here highlighted by the SPC. Not the SPC, the CPC. One other thing I want to briefly highlight is while there is no cold weather products at all for the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes, I would not be surprised if we get frost advisories, that sort of thing. But look at all of how hot it is back here. All these fire weather warnings, excessive heat warnings, watches, heat advisories. This is not good at all, and we have even dense smoke advisories and air quality problems over the northwestern U.S. And look at down here, we even got a flood watch going on due to, again, that system that might bring in more moisture from the southeast. But anyways, if you found this video very helpful, detailed, and informative, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. There is the subscribe button down here below my lovely face. So if you want to subscribe, do so now, because you're going to want to get used to seeing more of these updates, because at the end of the day, we don't just talk about the tropics, but we also talk about what's going on in the United States as far as severe weather goes, winter weather goes, and what is the other thing that we got to keep an eye on too? The cold Arctic air as well. So I'm just all over the place with my weather content. So again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and ring the bell icon to get latest updates. And there's that trough coming in out of the north there. And also, leave a comment and I'll be back with you more, maybe tomorrow, depending on our tropics.